Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be giving the MX-5 some TLC. So the TLC will include the timing belt, water pump, thermostat and also a coolant flush. So we've already got the MX-5 up on the ramps. We've got the bonnet up, so it's all nice and cool, ready to go. So let's jump into it. So first things first, we're going to take the plug out to the bottom and drain it. So this will be for the coolant. And we are going to use one of Phil's little trusty buckets, what he uses to do his oil changes with. So in order to release the coolant, there's a Phillips head underneath the car in the plug, so we're going to have to use a Phillips screwdriver to get that and then drain it into the bucket. Job done. So now that's all flushed out, we've got another container, which is, we've poured the coolant into another container and then we're still using this container. So that's going to go to the tip and get disposed of correctly. And now it's just time to put some deionized water into the car to flush it all out. So I've got my funnel, going to place that in and then fill up. So I'm going to fill this up until it's full. And then we're going to turn the car on, let it warm up and flush, basically. So we've just done the flush of the deionized water. So next job is to take the radiator off, and the reason why we're taking it off outside is because it might still have some sort of liquid in. I say some sort of liquid, it'll only be coolant or water. And then we're going to get the car off the ramps, roll it into Phil's lovely organised garage, and yeah, just do everything else then. So before we take the radiator off, the induction crossover needs to come off. So I'm going to get cracking on with the induction pipe. So I've got an 8mm socket. This is Kieran from Care Auto Care. If you've watched the previous video, which is going to be the MX-5 getting detailed, Wonderworks over here done the wheels, didn't you?
Best part of the car then.
So there's just a few vacuum lines. So this one, you literally just pull it off. So because I haven't got the muscles for it, Kieran's going to do it, aren't you? Hello! Clean up the thermostat housing with a wired stiff brush.
There's a bolt on my side, and there's a bolt on the other side, and it should just be sitting in the holder. So you just lift it out now that the fan's disconnected.
Imagine the LT.
Oh, that would have been going on to you've been framed though. Now it's time to drag the MX-5 in. So this is what we're left with. It's a big massive gap for another engine to go in and a turbo.
So we're taking a picture of the way these go, so we make sure that they go back in to the spark plug that they're intended for. Should be two bolts, one that side, one this side, to take that off. I think there's about 10 or 12 of these 10mm bolts holding the rocker cover on. That should lift off once we've disconnected all these breather hoses, and we're good to take the front of the engine off
and replace the engine. I wish. So we need to make sure that piston number 1 is top dead centre, so we're going to take the spark plug out and then put a screwdriver down it, manually crank it, and then when the screwdriver gets to the top, put it in gear and just make sure that it's top dead centre. I have a spark plug. So you put the screwdriver in the spark plug hole, and now we're just going to manually crank it. And then this screwdriver should come up and down. So everything's locked top dead centre, so we've got the adjustable spanners on the cams and the mole grips to keep them in place. Car's in first, and then that will allow us to loosen the nut on the crank. So Kieran, who I introduced us to before, is kind of like the Northwest MX-5 expert, aren't you?
Indeed.
So yeah, so Kieran's obviously been helping us, and now it's time for Kieran to tell you what to do, because I don't have a clue.
So, taking the top off, it's all locked top dead centre. Next up, we've got to start taking the engine covers off the front to expose the timing belt. To do that, the alternator acts as a pulley on this belt, so you need to loosen that up to get some slack in here. Take off this pulley for this belt, and we should be able to take just about 8 bolts, take the covers off, loosen up the crank pulley, and you should be able to just take the belt straight off then once you get to the tensioners that are behind this cover. And then it's getting the new belt on, get it timed, and then move on from there.
So the timing belt covers on the front of the engine's just coming off now. Kieran's just whizzing through that. So as nothing goes right, now we need to jump back 4 teeth because Hope is a bitch.
Yeah.
Car's Hope, by the way, because we hope that she doesn't break down again, but now we're hoping that she gets it act together. One time, right, everything will just go right. First time, won't it?
Not in our lifetime.
Not now.
No, not on this car.
Definitely not on this car.
And Rachel's called me an expert, so...
You told me I'm messing.
I said I've got an MX-5.
That to me sounds like...
classify me as an expert now?
It does.
She's an expert on that.
I am an expert. I swear to God if this doesn't come off now.
Wow. I get the impression that's tight as fuck.
So after 2 hours of trying everything, trying literally anything that you can think of. Oh, that's heavy. This I wasn't expecting it to be that heavy. This snap-on tool, little Ugga Dugga, saves the day. And here we have the culprit. But yeah, so now we have access to everything.
Go with that.
Right, I swear to God, if we can't get another bolt off, this car's getting scrapped.
12?
Yeah.
Do we all agree the car's getting scrapped?
Yeah.
I'll happily burn it.
Oh, that sounds like a better idea.
Make a good video then, good thumbnail.
Content.
MX-5 goes up in flames. That's the next video.
Right,
Watch
so
out for that.
So, not only are we changing the timing belt and the pulleys and tensioners, we're also changing the water pump. So, first to get to that, we've got to undo the tensioners, take the belt off, and then unbolt the water pump, as well as disconnect the coolant outlet. Once we've done that, new one in with new gaskets, new tensioners, new spring, new belt, put it all back together again. Make sure it's still timed, cranks top dead centre, cam pulleys are still in the same position they were, thanks to our lovely cam locking tool.
Oh, lovely.
Because we're professionals, we're not ghetto mechanics. And yeah, hopefully not gonna jinx it, but it shouldn't take too long.
Let's see what time we finish.
After we've done all the front end work, we're going to change the thermostat in the thermostat housing, change the gasket on that as well. Like I say, it shouldn't be too big of an ordeal now. All this, like Danny said, we've got all the exposed bolts out of the way. These are ones that have been kind of protected from the elements. These aren't going to be seized.
I hope not, or I'll cry.
Yeah, so hopefully it all comes together. Let's get in here and take the tension spring off. So, old spring, I'm pretty sure all the kits that you can get replace these as well. Although they look good, it's been stretched for all its life. A new one's always advisable.
So now it's time to get the belt off.
We've taken the tensioner pulleys out, taken the tensioner spring out. We're about to take the water pump out, but first, thing we've been fighting for over 2 hours.
Don't remind us. However, for you guys, it'll only be about 30 seconds.
I know, just now it's very traumatic. But here we go. It's out, it's forgotten, ready for the new one.
This is the best thing I have seen all day. Ignore the handwriting, like, but I don't even know what that says. Someone can make sense of it. What does that actually say? I thought that says other tray.
So what's next? We need to clean all the surfaces. So we need to get the old gaskets off, clean the surfaces for the new ones. Just make it so it can have a flush seal. Make sure nothing leaks out, because once you get a coolant leak, it's impossible to chase down, because you're going to have to take all this off again, which you don't want if it's leaking from somewhere around here.
Oh, definitely not. That's
So-
the trouble we've had.
Clean up the surfaces as best you can.
So gaskets on, and then it's just a case of placing it and bolting it.
And making sure that that gasket stays where it's meant to.
Right, water pump's back on, just bolting it back into place.
Well done.
And now, not finally, but we are on to the
Rebuilding process.
the rebuilding process. I mean, when I say we, I mean Kieran, because he's the mexpert.
Then once this is on, we can refit the timing belt, new one. As you can see, we've still got everything still timed pretty well. Still top dead center on the crank.
Thanks to our job. New belt's going on.
So now it's all on. You agreed it's all timed correctly, all the marks are all in line. Cylinder 1 is top dead center. Cams have been locked the whole time, they're not unlocked. All the markings are still in the same place. I believe you need 17 teeth between the two that are fully contacted. So 17 teeth between there, so you know you've not got extra or less in there. I've lessened the, this is now roaming free, this tensioner. So what we're going to do now is we're going to turn the engine over by hand using this. Roll it round a couple of times, going to unlock the cams. This is going to find its own happy place, and so long as after a few rotations it's still all timed right, it's not skipped any teeth and it's all where it wants to be. We'll tighten this tensioner in because that's where it wants to be. It'll keep just the right amount of tension. You can start putting all the covers back on and move forward with it from there. Gone round a few times. Everything's still timed correct. Nothing's jumped any teeth. Still 17 between the two cam gears.
just cleaned up the area where the rocker cover's going on to, the spark plug's being put back in, and then it's just a case of putting the rocker cover back on, connecting all the spark plugs, and yeah, yeah. Well, you heard the boys, so let's go. Not plugged in here.
Ah,
Oh, good spot by me there.
ready when you are.
So obviously it took us a few hours to do the MX-5, so it was that bloody pulley bolt thing that fucked us over basically. Big thank you to Kieran from KS Auto Care. If you're Northwest based and you want a mobile detailer, I'll leave all of his links in the description, and that's basically a wrap. Next, I don't know what the next video is, probably on my car or the MX-5, and there's a lot more content to come, but at the moment my laptop's actually getting fixed and all the videos are on there, they're all pre-filmed and stuff like that. So I have got a lot of content, and it will it will be soon, but I just don't know when. And also in the description is a link to Mortalk. So get your personalised Mortalk stickers like I have to match to my wrap. And on the MX-5 we've got a green one. And yeah, I'll leave that in the description. So go and check the website out, go and check out Bofi Racing, go and check out Kieran, and I will see you in the next one.
Welcome to ST Rochester. This is roller bit through the back of the car.